What's up YouTube? Welcome to John's Daily Hustle. In today's video we're going to take the Toro Timemaster 30-inch mower out and we're going to mow a couple yards with it. I've got quite a few different angles with it and a couple of different yards. As a little disclaimer before we get started with today's video on this, I do want to warn you guys that on one of the properties I was mowing, the mount was mounted up here on the handle and the camera I was using does not have that very good stability on it, or stabilization I should say. So during part of this video there may be a couple of shots where it's like really shaky and you guys will have to just bear with me. I do apologize on that. I am working on getting a better camera that has way better stabilization. So there's way better angles and better views and stuff coming. Just bear with me on a couple of the shots in this video. Real quick, before we take this Toro out, please subscribe if you haven't already, as I always appreciate your guys' support and I hope to entertain at least some of you guys. So please subscribe or consider subscribing. While you're down there, give this video a big thumbs up, please. Alright, so here's one of the properties I did, and this was one of the first properties I did this season, and this is actually the first mow of the season for this property, and this was recorded back at the end of March when I finally did it, and this is one of my like 3 or 4 bi-weekly properties that I do. So as you guys can see, some of the grass is still a little dormant, it's very uneven and it's very weedy. As I'm sure you guys can see, some of the onion grass that's sticking up, and it's even more covered in weeds now. Every time I mow it, I'll have to go back and get another video of me recording this place, or record another video of me mowing this place, as the weeds are very thick now, but the grass is completely green, or at least the weeds are green, so it doesn't look as dormant as it is now. So don't be too confused of the grass being dead, it's just still slightly dormant. The backyard's pretty rough, you guys will see here in a later clip here coming up. The backyard's a pretty rough yard. But anyways, you can also see how rough and uneven this yard is. Right around here, you'll see the mower kind of bouncing around. So it's a bit of a rough property to be mowing with the Timemaster, as you guys, you guys will see in this next clip. But I just wanted to show you guys that I am not babying this mower. I am definitely putting it through some hell, just to see how long will it last commercially, as I do know that this is still technically quote-unquote a residential mower, right? But anyways, a couple of the properties that I do mow with it are not the best properties to mow with it. Even this property now, even though now that it's all greened up and it's kind of thickened up anyways, even though it's still weeds, it doesn't stripe that very good with this mower. But this mower does stripe very well. I have a property coming up this weekend. I'm actually planning on mowing with this mower. You guys are going to see it lay some stripes pretty good with no striping kit needed. So here is a first-person shot of the backyard. The backyard is very rough, as you guys are going to hear real soon. I actually run over a stick right around here somewhere. The backyard's pretty rough. It's also covered in those sweet gum tree balls, or the sweet gum balls that get dropped from the sweet gum trees. You know, every landscaper and lawn care guy's nightmare. I absolutely hate those things. I don't know an easy way to clean them up other than a rake and a trash can. I think that's really the easiest way to clean them up and the only way to clean them up. But they are a pain in the butt, and I run them over all the time with this mower and my X Mark Zero Turn when I'm out here mowing this property. And fun fact, that stone right there to the left is actually the stone that I hit with my X Mark. You guys can go check that video out. One of the first times I mowed this property, I recorded it, and that's actually the stone that I did hit with it. That was back kind of doing a little bit of a leaf cleanup on this property before the season really got going. Now this clip, I do apologize, as you guys can see it's very shaky. This clip will not last very long because I just couldn't do it watching it while I'm editing this video, so I didn't want to make you guys suffer through it. But as I had said in the beginning of this video, and I'm probably going to repeat again at the end of this video, I am working on better cameras and a better camera setup to get you more stable footage and more different kind of angles. You know, I love having cameras set up all over. I love to keep you guys entertained. I don't want to just keep throwing around the same angle every time. Now here again is actually that same day I recorded this property. This was the first mow of this property back at the end of March as well, which is why some of the grass still looks pretty dormant here. Now the front yard, it actually didn't need to be mowed because the neighbor, this is a duplex, the neighbor there you guys see to the left, he actually mowed this front part here. But I'm going to go over it again anyways because, well, I was paid to do it anyways. And some of the grass is sticking up a little bit, as you guys can see, just at the front of that deck. It needed to be mowed, but it wasn't terrible. Now the backyard is pretty thick. And again, you guys will see that here in a very quick moment. So this front yard wasn't too terribly bad for it being uneven, but here the backyard is very uneven. So as you guys see me right there, I just had to squeeze it through a gate. Now a fun fact, that gate was locked on the inside, and this is a vacant house that I was hired by a property manager to come cut. So I actually had to jump the gate to get into the backyard. It was kind of funny to watch. But anyways, you guys can see right there, I'm hitting some of the thick stuff as this grass was not cut at the end of the season last year. So it should have been cut one time before the season ended. But this grass isn't terribly bad. As you can see, it's mostly shade anyways. And I did end up stalling my mower right around there. Now right there, I actually scalped the yard pretty bad because it's on a little bit of a slope and incline, and this was the first property I mowed with the Timemaster that had any kind of uneven terrain like that, like an incline or slope, as you guys can see right there. So I'm going to save that. You guys will see this clip again in the review for the Timemaster, but it definitely does not like uneven terrain too much. So one thing I do want to point out about this property, especially when I stalled the mower out in the beginning, I did not have a bungee cord with me at the time to hold the discharge chute open, as well as the actual plastic discharge chute that I had with this mower did not break yet. Of course, you guys know that it did break in a later video. You guys can check that card out right there. But I didn't have it with me, and I was close as I was to a house. There was a sliding glass door just to the left of the screen. Right next to where you see that AC unit, there was a sliding glass door, as well as there was 2 windows there. So I didn't want to hold the discharge chute open, as I was still getting used to the mower and how it operates and everything. So I was really afraid of throwing something, you know, obviously hitting a rock and throwing something. And I'm really glad I made that decision, especially after seeing how rough this property is and how uneven it is. And I mean, I scalped the ground right there just past where I was at in the beginning of this video. So if I scalped the ground, if there was a rock, it most likely would have thrown it for sure. So I'd rather just be safe and take a little extra time than have to be sorry but have got it done quicker, because then it'll end up costing me more in the long run and taking me more time in the long run to get it fixed. Right here, this clip I think is kind of funny because you can tell how early in the season it was, because this was one of the first times using that trimmer right there as well. That is the SRM 225 that I bought back in December of last year. As you see, it still has a guard on it, so I was still on maybe the first or second tank of fuel on that trimmer. As you guys know, I tried to do a little bit of a break-in cycle before I beat on too much, and I didn't even have the Darwin grip set up on it yet. There you guys got to see, I did get to use the Toro Timemaster quite a good bit, more than I thought I was going to. So as you've seen there was like the first couple of times of me actually cutting grass with the Toro Timemaster this season. Yeah, they weren't the best properties to demonstrate that on, as well as, you know, they're very uneven, pretty rough, and they don't stripe that well, they're full of weeds. So bear with me on that. I do plan on having some better angles. So bear with me on that. The next couple of videos you guys are going to see with this mower, I'm going to end up having a really satisfying video where it just stripes really well. It's a thick and lush yard, and it just looks really good when it's done. So if you guys came here for that, stay tuned, because I promise I'm going to have footage with that. Because not all of my properties are, you know, trashy properties where they're just rough and covered in weeds. Some of them are actually really nice, beautiful, lush, and dark green. But again, this was recorded the first week of the season. So for it being the first week of the season and I'm just getting used to using that mower, I'd say it wasn't too terribly bad. Anyways, hey, if you guys haven't already hit that subscribe button and you're new to my channel, please seriously consider subscribing and go check out some of my older videos. And give this video a big thumbs up, because you guys are going to see a lot more content with this Toro 30-inch here very, very soon. If you came here for that, definitely check me out. Of course, to everybody watching, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. And as always, guys, thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.